Hi again, everybody, and welcome to today's 5-minute lesson brought to you by Ensemble Music Schools. Today I'm going to be talking again to all my percussion friends, and we're going to talk about holding and playing 4 mallets, specifically how you can learn and develop your 4 mallet technique for any keyboard instrument at home without an instrument. As we know, percussion is a really hard thing for young students to play because a lot of times they don't have access to the instruments that they may want to practice at home. In my experience, this means that percussionists need to be creative about when and where they can practice certain techniques and ideas. So today we'll be talking about holding and playing 4 mallets. So first, I'm going to show you the mallets that we're going to be using. These are Vic Firth M213s. These are a really nice general mallet. I would advise, any of my students, we could start off with something like this. When you're first starting out your collection, you don't want to invest in something that's too hard or too soft. You want to invest in something that's right in that middle ground, and this is a really good example of that. As you learn and you grow as a percussionist, you'll wind up needing a different kind of mallet for different kinds of situations, and that's okay. In time, you're going to develop a really, really large collection of mallets. Sort of like this. Okay? This isn't even all of it, really. So now, I'm going to talk to you about how to hold the mallets, and then the basic stroke types that you can use to practice on any surface at home. These techniques will directly apply once you step up to the instrument, so it's a really good idea to perfect them away from the instrument first and on your own before you actually walk up to a marimba or a xylophone and start to try and utilize it. So first, let's talk about holding the mallets, okay? So we're going to take just one of the mallets, and we're going to put it under the fatty part. We're going to put it right under the fatty part of our thumb, okay? And as you can see, it's resting on top of my first finger's first knuckle, okay? So fatty part of the thumb, first finger's first knuckle. If you're doing it right, it should just kind of hang out. You shouldn't have to do too much for it. You shouldn't have to do too much to it. It just stays right there. It's nice and stationary. From here, we want to place our thumb right on top. Now, a big thing in percussion is we don't want to put a lot of pressure on this, okay? So I'm barely holding this. I can just slip it out, right? We're only putting this there for stability, okay? Down the road, when we talk about changing intervals and stuff, you're going to realize that this motion is really important, and holding it correctly is key. So here's our first mallet. Our next mallet, we're going to place in between our middle and ring fingers of the same hand, and we're going to wrap our ring finger and our pinky around the back of the mallet, okay? You want to have just a little bit sticking out the back, but not too much, and you want to make sure that this grip is nice and secure. This mallet shouldn't really wobble too much, okay? From here, we're going to take our middle finger, and we're going to wrap it around the back of the first mallet we put in, okay? It's just going to sit here in the bottom and give us a little more support and stability. That's it, okay? Once again, I have everything secure, but I'm not squeezing. I'm not holding on to this super tight, right? The more tension we create in our hand, the more tension we're going to create in our sound. And over time, if you play like that, all you're going to do is lead to injury. You might play too loud, you might play too hard, anything like that. So we're nice and relaxed, okay? So this is holding the mallets. Now we just duplicate the same thing in the other hand. And in time, you'll just learn to kind of pick up the mallets and place them immediately, okay? But first you gotta really think about where you're holding them. Okay, now that we're holding the mallets, let's talk about identifying them. Going from our left to our right, this is my perspective, the performer's perspective, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Identifying these are key to understanding what we're about to talk about next, all right? So now that we know how to hold the mallets, we know which mallets we're selecting, we're gonna go with our stroke types, and we're gonna talk about how to actually move the mallets. If I was going to actually do this myself, I would put a pillow down, but I want you to be able to hear and see exactly what I'm talking about when we do this. So now let's go through each of those stroke types and how they should sound. So let's start with the double vertical. I think this is the easiest stroke to just immediately hear and play back. I'm gonna hit the table, and what I'm looking for is an even, consistent sound between all 4 mallets. I don't want any flams or multiple sounds. I want just one unified sound. Remember, I'm not playing hard, I'm not gripping, I'm not squeezing, I'm just letting the mallets kind of fall and picking them back up. You let gravity do the work and then rebound with the sticks. So to practice this, go slowly, put a metronome on, and just, We're going for nice, even, consistent sounds. Now, let's go to the single independent. Okay, so like I said before, we want to take each mallet and make sure that it's rotating around the other mallet while the other mallet doesn't move. So I'm going to start with mallet number 4. This is my right hand outside mallet. And I just want to make sure that mallet number 3 is rotating but not wiggling. Let me take this finger off. That's the idea. Now go through each mallet. Mallet 3, mallet 2, mallet 1. And see if you can get all of your mallets to play and sound the same, all while having a really nice lift and a really even sound. You can play 4 on a hand, 8 on a hand, it doesn't matter. Any number you pick will be great. Now let's talk about the single alternating. So same idea applies here. We're just going to go 1, 3, 2, 4. Now, feel free to arrange it in any way you want. Make sure to arrange it in some different patterns. We can go 4, 2, 3, 1. That would still be single alternating. Okay, finally, we have the double lateral stroke, which I want to think of as one motion, 2 sounds, okay, like this. So I'm picking up my hand, at the same time, I'm rotating. So when you get this correct, so I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. You can also go 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the idea behind all of this, remember, stay even, stay in control, make sure you're nice and relaxed, let gravity do the work for you, and just rebound with the mallets. Thank you everyone for checking out today's 5-minute lesson presented by Ensemble Music Schools. I'm really excited that you joined us, and I hope you learned something from this. If you have any questions about percussion, or maybe you want a student to start taking percussion lessons at one of our schools, please make sure to reach out to an Ensemble Music School near you and see how we can connect you to the best possible teacher. Thanks, and see you later.